ate noodles with no packet. Cereal.
There's bombs coming, bro. There's bombs on the way. The bombs are coming, and all you guys want to do is goon and fap. Fap and goon. Come on, gobbler stars. You guys want to be a bunch of gobbler stars? Give all the RAM to the girls, the OF girls, bro, so they can continue to post their nudies. Yuck.
Affected. It's the whole goddamn gaming industry. The Steam Deck, which is supposed to be the budget option of someone who doesn't want a PC but wants to play PC games, has been cooked because of RAM and sold out everywhere. Your only choice now is to either get it for double the price or wait for the price of it to magically fall. This is why you got people out there praying to God like Venom and Spider-Man 3 on AI's downfall. Valve was also supposed to release the Steam Machine, which is another alternative for people who don't want to buy a full gaming PC. Well, now that's gotten delayed because they can't get RAM for the system. And of course, you got the classic PlayStation 6, which we're now approaching 6.
What is that thing? What is that? Not a real photo, by the way. I would hope so, because that looks hideous.
6 years since the original PlayStation 5 launch date. So Sony is supposed to be in the process of preparing and releasing the next console within a year or two. And that's no longer happening because AI is taking all the RAM so they can't buy it. These AI companies are moving like Sid from Toy Story. They putting down these other multi-billion-dollar companies like they're peasants. As much as we can blame these AI companies for doing this, the main culprits are the RAM producers themselves. They're choosing to sell these massive bulks of RAM to these companies because it's easy money instantly. As long as these AI companies keep building data centers, they're gonna keep doing it, so there's not much we can do. I'd love to say Gen Z will stand up to the
Check this. Aside from the gold on the edging of the RAM sticks, what really is the issue of creating more RAM? Can we take a second just to talk about that? What is really stopping people from just making more? Right? Oh, yes, I know, I understand the cost of production, the cost of shipping and warehousing and storage of all these chips, but what is really stopping them from just making more? As opposed to just having a limited supply and then the supply and demand doesn't match up, so that's why everything is so expensive. But if you ramp up production, then there'll be a slight price increase, but it won't be 5x. You know, I'm not an economist, Echo Man.
Security and stop these corrupt organizations for selling out things rightfully belonging to the public. But we can't even agree which colors belong to which textbook subject in school, so that's not happening. By the way, math is blue, history is yellow, English is red, science is green, and art is purple. If you want to argue—
Who said that, bro? Math is red. Math is red. Math is the red duotang. That's what you do math in.
with me, no problem. You'll be instantly banned from all my socials. Of course, we also got housing crisis now, which is a given. Not only in America, but in nearly every Western country, housing has reached historic levels of being unaffordable. Right now in the US, the median home price is 3.5 to 7.1 times the median yearly income. And the UK, it's worse. It's 9 times the average income, which is insane. And at least in America, if you spend, I don't know, $1 million, you could get—
Yes, this is true. The housing market has completely tanked. In a state where people, millennials and younger, so I guess millennials and people like Gen Z and Gen Alpha and all these things, I don't even know Gen Alpha is even thinking about buying a house. But just keep in mind that people in our age group, we're not even able to afford a house, okay? Most Gen Z kids have over $90,000 in debt from school. How are you gonna go to school, get $90,000 worth of debt, and then come out and say, yo, I'm thinking of buying a house? Yeah. That's a lie. You can't. Not anymore. Not in this market. This market is cooked, okay? The majority of you guys are walking around here with empty pockets, empty minds, all right? Gen Z, let alone, can't even have a conversation. How are they gonna buy a house, okay? And the rent prices are ridiculous. It depends on where you live. If you live in a major city, it's always going to be expensive, but now it's more expensive than ever. You got studio apartments starting at about $1,000. You have a 1-bedroom apartment, $1,500, okay? And in most places, the minimum wage is around like $14, $15, okay? So what are you doing? You're just working to live? You're just in survival mode? What a time to be alive, guys.
A decent sized house with a good space to live in with the family. And the UK, for that same price, you're lucky to find a 500 square foot shed. And it just goes on and on for how bad the prices are. Also, for any millennials that try to say this ain't nothing for us and they had it harder back in 2008, experts are now officially saying the US housing market in 2026 is worse than 2008. So don't try to go trauma to trauma with this anymore. Worse housing market, 10x more the shootings, we go into war, beat that. I don't know why I'm saying that like it's a flex. It's actually very serious problems. COVID did really ruin everything, because ever since the housing hike, prices have gone down for houses, but But you know there's always those people that keep them high and leave it like that, which I think is what's gonna happen for RAM. If there's one thing companies like to do, it's stealing from the public without them figuring out it's a scam. And we just live the rest of our lives assuming it should actually cost that much, even though they're making like 10x the profit on it. I remember after the peak of COVID was over, there was so many grocery stores that kept their prices up just because. The good thing is, guys, our federal administration is working hard to bring these prices down and help everyone achieve their goal of owning a home one day.
There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up.
You heard it here first, bro, from the demon himself.
For people that own their homes, and they can be assured
that's what's going to happen.
Well, guys, at least we can rent a $2,000 one-bedroom apartment for the next 60 years of our lives, and maybe we'll be able to get one by the time we're 70. It's a good thing our country funds another country that gets free healthcare and schooling for everyone. This is all okay. You already know things like how unaffordable it is, but seeing clips like that is the cherry on top. And even if you did find a home in your budget in 2026 that you think you could afford, the interest rate is still not that good at 6%. If you got a home in January 2021, the interest rate would have been 2.6%, basically in half. This specific interest rate was an anomaly due to COVID, so they had to do that. But if you look back before then, in 2016 to 2020, it bounced between 3 to 4%. So before COVID, it was still 2 percentage points lower than it is now. The good news is though, guys, that for the next couple of decades of our lifetime, multiple finance companies have predicted that the rate is gonna stay around the same or get worse in the future. Imagine you just locked in when you were a kid and bought a house back then, loser. Instead of, I don't know, being a stupid kid or teen. Maybe you should have been smart for once in your life and invested. I'm saying that as a joke, but that's dead ass how older generations think. Okay, I'll try to soften it with some actual good news. There is some cities and some places where housing prices are slowly dropping for people. The main
Yeah, well, it all depends, all relative, bro, man. But at the end of the day, you can't really sit there and complain about everything. That's not the best thing to do. You get what you get, right? Life is what you make of it. Life is how you look at everything. So if you're gonna sit there and complain about everything is so expensive, well, bro, you just gotta level up. Now more than ever, you gotta be leveled up. More than ever, hypergamy is at an all-time high. Shorties don't want you if you're not a winner. So what's the point, dude? You might as well just level up instead of crying about everything. And you know what's the worst thing about all this is that they already told us this. I think it was 2020. They had said, what? You will own nothing and you'll be happy. What kind of slogan is that? Does that beat the Obama presidential slogan? No, it doesn't. It's actually really terrible. But that's the situation we've been put in. If a company is going to raise its prices, do you think it's ever going to decrease its prices? No. When I was running my animation studio, when I increased prices, do you think I brought the prices down? No. Prices go up, the prices stay up. Yesterday's price is not today's price, as Fat Joe once told us. The worst part about everything is the subscription services that are just wild right now. I got a homie that told me that he had bought a BMW, right? He had bought a BMW and the heated seats in the car were on a subscription service. He had to pay $15 for the heated seats to be able to be turned on in his car. Mind you, the car came with that. It was a feature of the car. He had bought the fully loaded vehicle, right? And then now they're telling him, if you want your heated seats to work, you got to pay us $14.99. What is that?
place being Texas, which is why everyone and their mother is moving here. Texas is absurdly massive, so they basically have unlimited land to play with, although you do also risk unlimited gunshots being shot at you at any moment. Another scam getting worse is Ticketmaster and most ticket-selling websites now, to be honest, which have been scummy companies for a while now. In fact, both the last and current government administration.
Yeah, first of all, Ticketmaster is their parents' company, Live Nation. They're under investigation for, antitrust laws, because they have too many companies under the roof. They have Ticketmaster, which is in charge of the tickets. They have Live Nation, and then Live Nation owns a lot of venues, right? So they essentially have a monopoly on the entire sort of venue and live entertainment scene. So they're under investigation for antitrust laws right now.
Administration are suing them. I mean, you know it's bad when even a like Trump is suing you for being a scammer. He usually wants to join in on the fun. They got caught themselves trying to help scammers jack up prices, because once again with these companies, just like what I said for RAM companies, if they have a guaranteed way to make their money and can sell in bulk, they'll do it. It's also gotten even worse with dynamic pricing. If Satan came to this earth now, I believe dynamic pricing would be his first creation. All these ticket companies try to justify justify it by saying it helps combat scalpers. So their solution is, instead of having the scalpers buy the tickets, everyone can buy it, but for 10x the price. Either way, I can't go in either scenario. I'm not buying it for the scalp price or that price, so what is the point of even doing this? There's a lot of artists too that have to get blamed for this as well. The reason I say that is because a lot of them try to act oblivious and go to the public like, no way guys, what? I just want everyone to be able to enjoy my show at a great price and have a good time. Companies should not be taking advantage of this. Meanwhile, after the show, they look at their bank account and are like, those stupid ass, they really believe me. 3 million in a night, let's go. I'm buying another Rolls Royce and putting it in the garage. This is too easy. Whenever you see an artist try to act like they don't know why it's so high and it stays high, just know they know, because something can be done. Michael Jackson notoriously was known for selling his tickets for cheap because he wanted fans to actually be able to come. And Taylor Swift, as much as we make jokes about her and she does have her own flaws, gets my respect because she chose not to use dynamic pricing so fans can enjoy her show. One of the worst culprits of it this year is FIFA for the 2026 World Cup. FIFA's already been known as a pretty scummy company when it comes to its consumers. For the first time in history, this World Cup, they decided to use dynamic pricing. And let's just say,
good luck to anybody who can afford this shit.
World Cup prices from 2022 to 2026 have increased over 1,000% for tickets.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. This is all about for the Goyim. Shout out to the Goyim, dude. Shout out to us, the Goys, the non-nons from the chosen. We're the non-chosen ones. All I'm saying, guys, we gotta all you gotta do is level up. That's the only thing we can do. Everything else is a lie. Everything else is BS. All we can do now is level up. Try to level up as much as possible, because if you don't level up, well, sorry, kid, but it's not looking too good for you.